terrifying voice spoke to her.
I'm Santa Claus. Don't you want to be my best friend?
The horrifying sound coming from this Ring security camera installed in the child's bedroom, which she shares with her two sisters.
I come upstairs and I hear some banging noise. I was like, who is that?
For 5 minutes, the voice taunting the young girl, playing strange music.
So, I have a rule, right? I say that I do not like to call people pedophiles. I do not like people calling people pedophiles unless you are so completely convinced that they are a danger to innocent children that you could shoot them and kill them and sleep soundly after. And I have no issue saying that if I ended up being the reason that Zoom died, I would sleep very soundly after, because I'm convinced, without any shadow of a doubt, that he is a pedophile. And beyond this, there's more people who claim that when he was in his mid-20s, he was talking to them while they were in their mid-teens. There's apparently 100+ hours of people recording Zoom and bragging about this shit and talking about teenage girls. And this is now getting clipped because people have just found out about this thread that knew this guy in the last 10 years while he was involved in Lul's second shit. Or the first squad. So that is probably getting posted. The issue is I don't know. I would love more than anything else in the world right now to be able to say that everything that's happened in Japan, where is the work of the
この童貞も華やいできましたね。この情景を目にできて。
This was going on. This guy was fired, 6 months ago. We have nothing to do with him anymore, and we apologize for the inconvenience, and we're turning back on your DDoS filtering. I would love to get that email. The problem is that, as I will demonstrate, apparently Corey has not worked for them for months and months and months, and everything that has happened independently of him being in the company. So him being a creepy weirdo apparently has no coincidence with what's actually happening in the last month. So I'll give you a quick rundown of the timeline. There was a user named Rico Mark, and Rico Mark posted in January this year a series of posts explaining with various sources that Zoom worked at Path. And I should explain what Path is. Path is an ISP. They're an ISP and they mostly deal with DDoS mitigation. So if you are a VPS company, if you do hosting, and you do not have the equipment required to filter out a denial of service attack, then what you do is you peer with them, and then during an attack, you turn on their service and traffic gets filtered through them, and then only clean traffic passes through to your network. So if you have a small network and you need DDoS filtering, you can connect to their pipes, they filter it, you get only what bandwidth is legitimate, as opposed to the abuse bandwidth. Many people use this company. My upstream use this company. People I respect, like Francisco, who runs BuyVM, use this company as their DDoS filtering. They're not like a small fry. They're small, perhaps compared to like Google, but they're not like an unheard of company ran by like a couple people. They have data centers and like I think they just opened one in Hong Kong and Singapore. They have international presence, and that's why it's astounding to me that something so large could be behaving so erratically and unprofessionally, and over something that could have been resolved literally in a single email over a month ago. So Rico Mark, the user, then requests via the Talk to Staff board that he would like all his posts deleted. And I say, thinking, Corey probably doxed this guy and is harassing him. And I say, no, don't let a pedophile intimidate him. And he replies saying, I have a private lawsuit against me which requires my post to be taken down. Please do so. All my comments on that post, please. And I say, no. And that is the last I hear from him until the same time next month, around mid-March, I get an email from my data center saying that their business partner, Path, had contacted them with a sealed court order, which I was not allowed to see despite being the subject of this court order. This is not legal. Judges may issue one of these, but it's not valid. And even if, to frame this, let's pretend that this was a matter of national security. Rory Barnhill working for Path.net is a matter of such importance that if the Chinese found out about this, they could somehow launch, and this is super top secret, the most important information in the entire world. I would get an email directly to me, the person responsible. There's a word for it. I'm like the record keeper for my LLC, for the company, or the manager of records. And I would get an email in that capacity from an at nsa.gov, at doj.gov email address saying, "Hi, my name is Agent Smith. I work for the Department of Justice and the Cybercrimes National Security Division. This is top secret. If you post this is a crime under such and such statute. We need this contact within 24 hours, or we're going to dispatch the data center to take your hardware." I would have in that agreement the judge who signed it, the handler from the Department of Justice, a courtroom to appear in to contest it. I would have the ability to reply to it through my representation, so I could get this document sworn to the bar. And I could contest this. To get a sealed order through a third party with no custody, no case number, no agent, nobody I can talk to besides the private party who delivered it to me is not, that is not how that works. The government cannot go to your landlord and say, "Hey landlord, here's a secret piece of paper deputizing you to go to this house with your master copy of the keys and steal something out of their dresser drawer." Like, you can't do that. And I'm aware that this is bullshit, but I still comply. I take it down because it's my upstream. They think that I'm jerking them around or ignoring court orders. I have a big fucking issue, as you saw yesterday. So I take it down and I say, I need a case. I'm going to forward this to my attorney. I don't think that this is valid. I want to, I have representation who will look at this, and I need to know what the court is and what the case number is. You can tell me that without telling me anything in the court. But all that they're willing to tell me is this, which is a quote. Paragraph B of whatever. I don't know what numbered paragraph on what page. Just paragraph B somewhere in a secret, super secret, top secret, ultra international, ultra max security order. Paragraph B says, all statements and or posts pertaining to Path or their officers and employees must be published by the user known as RicoMark on the KiwiFarms.net forum, accessible via this thing. And that's all I get. He's saying that everything by RicoMark in that thread must be deleted. So I go through one by one and I delete every post by RicoMark. And to delete it, I delete the attachments and I replace it with this post has been removed by legal order on this date. And I go through and I find every post quoting a post by RicoMark and I replace it with the same message. So I go through that and then I say, okay, I want to know the case number. I'm not told by my upstream, and I try contacting them. I contact legal at path.net. I go to my other email address a couple weeks later and follow that up, but I get no message. I tried contacting admin at path.net. I tried contacting legal at path.net. I added in abuse at path.net. I even took the first name of the CEO, which is Marcus, I'm pretty sure, and I threw in Marcus at path.net, just guessing his email address based off common practice, and that went through. And I know that one went through because admin at path.net bounced, even though that's their contact information on their records. So if Marcus was wrong, it would also bounce. But that one went through. So I know they saw this. And all I asked was, what is the case number that yielded this court order instructing these posts to go down? No reply. And instead, several hours later, after I send that email asking for clarification about this court order, which I've already complied with, my site's down. And I get an email from support from the data center saying that Path contacted them directly and said that I am in continued non-compliance with this court order that I am still not allowed to see. And so begins the process. And I say, look, I'm not going to defy a court order, but if I'm the subject of a court order, I have a right to see it. And if you don't trust me, if you think that I'm just going to like take this super secret court order that you're entrusted with and put it on my fucking website, here's my attorney. Send it to him. If I'm not allowed to see it, and this is the thing that can happen, there's certain instances where it's against the, you know, the party A has an interest in dealing with party B, and they need to share information, but party A doesn't want party B to see what the information is, so they can reach an agreement and say, okay, well, we'll share this with our counsel. Counsel will give me the gist, but, you know, there's like a custody there, so that that concern is dealt with. That's a common thing. That happens all the time. So here's my attorney. Send it to him. He's a registered member of the District of Columbia's bar. He's a registered member of the federal government's bar. And still, that does not happen. And then I start talking about this. I start publishing notices. Now I'll show you what I did. As I tend to do now, impotently screaming in the wind when my fucking site's down, I get fucky with the error messages that I have control over. And I put up this. And I explain the situation. I explain exactly what happens. Now the entire site for this duration is a message saying path.net has compromised the site and is not letting us use because of a court order I cannot see. And several hours later, and the site goes up for 15 minutes and goes back down. I'm pretty sure that was the data center looking to see what was in the thread, and they're trying to figure out, like, because remember, my data center relies on this company for DDoS mitigation, so they don't want to just lose this company as a partner. They're looking at things like, what the fuck is happening here? What content? All the posts by Rico Mark as instructed. And then several hours later, I guess the talks between Path and the data center go poorly because the data center received another email. This time, now the data center is in Nevada. The lawyer that sends this email is from California, and the lawyer is instructing them to seize my hardware, to seize my hard drives. This is exactly as it's written. From Michael Cyphers, who is a registered member of the California Bar Association, directly to my data center in regards to me and my property. Urgent legal demand for preservation of evidence based on legal action and subpoenas which are imminent and forthcoming in the near future, and to prevent the destruction of evidence, demand is hereby made that you preserve the hard drive in Joshua Moon in 1776 Solutions LLC and each of them, and pull out of the server and preserve the hard drives and their contents. Please confirm your receipt of this request and that you will be complying with it. Copying my law partner Larry Hardley on the CC line. This is not legal. This is not a court order. This is a impotent letter of demand from California, which is not even the jurisdiction that my data center is in. Very bizarre and not enforceable. Now, there is a difference between a criminal letter order to preserve something versus a civil matter like this. In a criminal case, as I understand, I'm not an attorney, but though I may one day be at this point, I may receive an honorary degree from Columbia by retention of bullshit, trivial facts about the legal system over time. In a criminal system, if there is evidence and you destroy that evidence, you are now guilty of a crime called destroying evidence or obstruction of justice. In civil court, if you receive a notice like this and you're being sued, the jury is instructed to assume that what you deleted is just use their imagination, literally instructed to use their imagination to assume that whatever was deleted must be as damaging to their case as you can possibly imagine. That's what they tell them. But there is no case. I don't know what the case is. What are they? Defamation? They know immediately that will be thrown out for Section 230 violations. I have not accused this guy, or I don't even know. Is it defamation or Barnhill did work for Path.net apparently. So is that a even like a, you know, defamation has to be like malicious. It has to be a claim that you know is malicious. So number one, is that really malicious? And number two, is it unreasonable for me to assume that he works at path.net when he has worked at path.net in the last year? Probably not. So all this is bullshit. All this is like dick swinging. Company that has the resources to educate themselves in this matter and find ways to deal with problems and sending out bullshit scripts. So immediately after seeing this, my data center becomes wise to the fact that Path is actually fucking insane, and the site goes back up. The data center says, we're not being the middleman in this party anymore. Here is Joshua's contact. Here is his attorney's contact. Here is Path's contact. Here's Path's attorney's contact. You fuckers sort this shit out. To this point, I have yet to receive any email from Path. They have been fucking with my site. They have been they have accomplished censorship of content on my site, and they have put my site down for 6 hours now, through nothing but sending pieces of paper to an upstream, and I have not heard a word from them. I have reached out to them multiple times. My attorney has reached out to them at least once now in reply to this. I have heard nothing back from them. And meanwhile, people asking their employees about this are like, oh, well, we don't know. So it's not like they don't know. And this is the really like schizo part of it. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I'll get to this. Yeah, just making sure I didn't. Here's apparently Corey from websites like Spokio that do doxing stuff, like they get their information is that they either buy advertising data from companies like Facebook or whatever, or they use spiders to crawl websites. So one of the websites that was used that claimed that Corey still worked for Path as a chief operating officer, COO, so one of the largest, most important people in the company, believes that probably because Corey specified in his resume that he was the chief operating officer of path.net. So there is a chance that Corey is doing this as their COO, and he's just trying to keep his job. That's option A. Option B is that Corey does not work at Path, as they claim. And that's the police coming to get me. I've been a bad boy on the internet once again. They're still looking for me. They've been driving around in circles trying to find me for months now. Corey does not work as Corey does not work as Path, as they claim, and they just want to get rid of this information. If that's the case, that's a bigger tragedy than the story of Chief COO Corey Barnhill (pedophile) working for Path. Because if that's the case, literally all they had to do was send me an email clarifying this position and asking for their help. And if that was the case, I didn't even mention this. Here's the little factoid. As I mentioned, my upstream uses Path as a DDoS mitigator. Astute listeners of my weekly presentation, Mad at the Internet, may recall I had to recently find my own DDoS mitigation at my own dollar, and it's going to be a lot. In fact, when I do the streams in the future, I think what I'm going to do is set a weekly goal of something like $4.25 a week in super chats, because I need that much money to pay for my DDoS mitigation that I've had to buy in order to replace Path.net, which used to be free. I was randomly kicked off of Path.net's DDoS mitigation, and I did not know why. I was never contacted. I have never had contact with this fucking company, even though they fuck with me constantly. Yeah, I need that money, man. I need that money. Even they used to be. I just randomly. What it used to be is that when a DDoS attack comes in, and you need to filter your network, as I mentioned with the upstream. Pay my bills. The upstream changes what they call a BGP community. It's a networking thing, but basically that switches the network. When I got attacked, I just changed my BGP community to 911, and that would filter me through Path. Eventually, when I started getting attacked more, I noticed that when I switched my BGP community to 911, my internet went off. It didn't filter me. It just dropped everything. And I had no idea why. I thought I had fucked up networking somehow. I contacted support. They didn't have any idea. I contacted them again months later, and Upstream said that they got into contact with Path, who told them that they had blacklisted my network, my ASN, and that they would no longer ever send traffic to my subnet on my behalf. So, for whatever reason, unbeknownst to me, because I've never been contacted, Path.net randomly blacklisted my entire network, and I've never been told why. However, based on the timing, I bet you if I took the tickets and I took at the time frame that Corey worked at Path, I bet you it coincides perfectly, and I would put that directly on him. I bet you he just went to the thing and typed some shit up and fucking blacklisted the ASN, and now we don't have DDoS filtering. That I believe. But as I said, option B is if they really were just trying to get rid of this information and it was wrong, it was defamatory, they could show that, I could correct this and they could fix my fucking DDoS filtering, save me $2,000 a month, and that would be A-okay with me. So if they really were just trying to get rid of defamatory content, they fucked up by, to this point, never contacting me, because I would be a lot more amicable to that arrangement than having to deal with them like this. Option C. Corey does not work at Path, is angry that they fired him and are trying to get Path in trouble. And this is the fun part of the schizo theories, because it is very reasonable to assume that this is all bullshit. And the only reason why I don't think that this is just social engineering tricks is that Upstream is saying
kill everything that moves and try not to die.
Sealed court order, quote unquote, is fake. I can believe that.
First blood's all
They have a business-to-business, high-dollar contract with Path. Why is it that they are getting these messages directly? I really doubt that they're getting fooled. I'm sure they can pick up a phone number and call someone from Path and get this information directly from them. So why the fuck would they fall? Why I think this is actually real and it's the company. So it could be Corey doing this. I'm gonna get Path in trouble. I'm gonna sell this bullshit and I'm gonna make him like a bunch of retards. But I don't believe that, because that could be cleared up very quickly, and it should have been at this point. Because I've even pointed out to my Upstream that there's a chance that it is a social engineering trick. So that would be looked into, and I bet you. Option D, the most chaotic of all this, is that it's a third party, entirely divorced from Corey and Path, who is trying to either get Corey or Path in trouble by framing both of them. That's the true neutral, the chaotic neutral. However, again, I don't believe it for the same reason as above. I think that the most likely explanation is that Path, any association with a known pedophile sadist, Corey Barnhill, aka August Hart, aka
Take cover!
aka Godspeed, and they're trying to clean up any fact that he ever worked for them. Saying, hey, here's the timeline. We can show you that this guy doesn't work for us. Can you like help us out here? They're just gonna like say, oh, you have to take it down. We're just gonna take it down. Oh, and I didn't write this down, but here's another schizo theory. You ready? Corey Barnhill doesn't work for Path, but August Hart does. And when they say he doesn't work for us anymore, they're actually just full of shit. The Sneeders, my network of spies and informants across the internet, the big I internet, not to be confused with the little I internet, have informed me that in a Discord community or by VM, which like
in a hail of gunfire.
Francisco? Do I have to call him Francisco? I want to call him Franco. I'm gonna call him Franco. He's like a Mexican or something. He's like a Mexican Canadian. I don't know. He's some kind of Franco, and I like IBM, and we were with IBM for longer than any other virtual machine company. They have a reputation for being complaint resistant, and the only reason why they dropped us is because somehow Vordrak managed to make a common law complaint in the UK and then use the Commonwealth legal framework to import his UK lawsuit to Canada. Franco to say, like, you're just not worth it. You're a $15 a month, VPS company, and you got to get the fuck off our network. we can't handle you anymore. But that lasted like 6 months, and he was apologetic for it. So, props to him. Props. I like if I had to recommend a VPS company, like who else? Who else is gonna host your shit if it's anything like the forum? I mean, the level of getting taken down by Franco is Vordrak here. So
enemy halfway to victory.
Fine. That being said, my network of spies are in the Franco Discord channel, and there are a lot of conversations between because Path.net is their
double kill.
So people are like contacting the Tempest/Path people there, and they're like, "What the fuck is happening? How are randomly ordering hard drives to be shipped?" And Chris M, who I can look this up really quick, actually. Where is he not in the Discord?
Gained the lead.
I don't see him. Chris M, I think, works for Tempest, which is a VPS company directly under Path.net. So he replied in response to this and say, Path cut ties with Corey months ago, way before any of the stuff mentioned happened. And then just a reply saying, why is Path now today trying to take down posts about and now confirm that? And then Chris M says that wasn't done today. I don't know the specifics on it. It was something that needed to be removed. This industry can be very disruptive to the business at times. There are instances where we piss off a lot of very dangerous people, some tied to organized crime. We've been harassed before by people who ended up committing homicide. I'm not sure about the specifics of the separation of Corey and Pat, as it is before my time. We don't care about Corey's data on the site. We care about the company info being leaked, which is very telling. But what's the company info? The company info is that... Oh, here. We just openly... Yeah, we're fucking with this website. We're lawyered up to fuck with this website. We probably could have reached an agreement, but instead we're just going to swing our dick around blindly because we can. Fuck you.
Over there! Hostiles
So,
in sight!
if you do business with
Enemies
that,
on me!
Spartan down!
Well-adjusted, intelligent, predictable. Okay. So, I want to say that's it from now. Right now, I'm kind of sitting on my hands because I'm in an awkward position. Something really dramatic has happened during this downtime. My April Fool's joke was completely ruined, and I'm absolutely livid at the moment.
Lost the lead.
And now there is this sort of Damocles. You have this company that
Enemy
may
team nearing
instigate
victory.
This civil action against me, or for what I don't
5
even know.
minutes
And they don't
remaining.
even have the good senses to communicate in any way, shape, or form. They apparently want to communicate only through third parties or the and April Fool's joke is on me. Yeah, exactly. And I'm just kind of sitting here thinking, right now, all I can do is here's a great thing. I removed all the customer information for the merchandise, and because I don't want that on this. Like, if Path is this insane and Corey might, I would.
Oh, you're lethal with a commando.
Hand over the fucking merchant data to Corey. I deleted that. I have an offline record of it because I need it. and I will need it because here's the final gift from the coin sales. You ready? Here's the absolute final fucking gift from the coin sales that I did. I went to my 3PL and I look at them and they say you have 163 for sale. I put up 163. I look at them and half of the orders are marked out of stock. So I guess they just lost half my fucking coins they said I had, and I've sold half my coins that I don't have. And now I have to contact them and figure out, is this just shit that's gone? Can you not fucking count? Why is half my inventory gone? And I get to sort that out. Is that when I may be refunding like $5,000 last minute sales that I would really prefer not to be refunding, but I guess I can just fuck myself. That being said, if you know a 3PL company that's not absolutely for a logistics company that can integrate to work. You know what? I don't even care. I don't care about WordPress integration anymore. If you know a logistics company that's not fucking retarded, for the love of God, give me contact with me. I am desperate for something that is not legit. I'm about to fucking neck myself. I haven't said that on the phone. The orders might not go out because I'm waiting very patiently. Like, hey, yeah, it's me again. You fucked me over. This is the 4th time you've completely fucked me over to the tune of thousands of dollars. Really hoping for an update on me getting fucked over. You know, I hope to hear from you by Monday about me getting fucked over. You know, have a nice weekend. Thanks, Josh. Just the usual. Just the usual. I'll get to sit here and fucking smile and sit on my hands as things are out of my hands yet again. Just sitting here waiting. Gator's Demon is behind this. He might be.